Hello, and welcome to Rock Your Block, where we highlight individuals who make an impact in our community. I'm your host, Larry Laws. On today's segment of First Home Alliance, we have the honor to highlight two phenomenal guests: the founder and co-founder of USA Homeownership Foundation, DBA Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, VA Rep. Founder and president, Nguyen. As a Vietnamese refugee, Son immigrated to the United States in 1975 with three siblings and his mother. Being raised by a single mom, Son saw what dedication, sacrifice, and strength really were. Those lessons were ingrained in his DNA. Besides his 12-year-old son, his love for America, along with the affinity for country and classic rock music, Son is proud to say he is foreign-born but American-made, respecting his diverse roots. VA Rep co-founder Dustin Luce opened a local real estate company serving the Inland Empire 7 years ago. His team of agents, the Advance Team, is a HUD local listing broker. His duties in this capacity include the marketing of HUD homes through outreach to the local realtor community and first-time home buyers. Prior to RTD Group Incorporated, Mr. Luce spent 5 years helping build local Keller Williams Realty offices through support within the Agent Leadership Council, training and mentoring new agents. He has been instrumental in putting together outreach events to educate distressed homeowners of their options. He has a passion serving those who have served us, as his father served in Vietnam and grandfather in World War II. Please welcome to our show, VA Rep founder and co-founder Son Nguyen and Dustin Luce. Son, Dustin, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for coming in. And getting started, Son, tell me a little bit about finding and how did you come up with the idea to start this great organization?
Well, Larry, it started way back when I first got out of the Navy and decided to buy a home. At that point, I was clueless on really the VA loan program, much less buying a home. The reality was I was more familiar with buying a home because I was a real estate agent already. But going through that process left a bad taste in my mouth. At that particular time, didn't know a lot about the VA home loan, hooked up with a lender, and that essentially told me that wasn't my best option. Later, I found out that was my best option. That is the best option, the VA home loan, for people that served and earned it. Well, fast forward from then, and probably about 2007, 2008, through the housing crisis, my Dustin and I were business partners in the real estate business. I knew I wanted to give back. Mm-hmm. And in giving back, I decided what I was all about. Take the real estate, take the Navy veteran within me, combine that. And I Googled how many veteran service organizations in the country actually help veterans with home ownership. The key is home ownership.
Correct.
And I found out that zero came back. Zero pings came back. And so from then on, I mean, there was a lot of homelessness, but not
Correct.
home ownership, Larry,
Yes.
as you know.
Correct.
And came up with the idea. I approached Dustin. I said, Dustin, we need to make a difference. Mm-hmm. And in order to make a difference, we need to start a nonprofit that focuses on veterans, housing, home ownership, and economic needs. Because the space is very fragmented. Some people are doing it, but not a centralized point. And so that's how we got started.
Yes, and I remember one of the questions that was asked for us to ask on the interview, while you was in the military, did you receive any educational homeownership or financial literacy? So while you were in, did you receive any educational financial literacy?
No, I did not, unfortunately, and that's one of the key objectives for the VA Rep, Veterans Association Real Estate Professionals, to go out and change that. Because I truly believe, as you and I were in the military, there's a lot of things that operating differently through request sheets and all of that. However, it does not teach you real life financial literacy education that's needed, from basic budgeting, savings, checking, and everywhere in between, including credit.
Correct. Yes. Okay, and in establishing the nonprofit USA Homeownership, you have a 5-point plan. Can you explain a little bit about the 5 points?
Yeah, absolutely. Our 5-point plan consists of outreach, education, training, professional membership, okay, and last but not least, the economic portion of that. Workforce development as far as and it's also small business incubation.
Okay, and also how important it is to to have a good partner in reference to starting a nonprofit and working a large, prosperous organization.
Um, as far as having the partner,
Having a partner, good partner.
a good partner. Well, he's sitting right beside me. Without Dustin, there would be no USA Homeownership Foundation DBA VA rep, and Dustin's the best partner to have, and Dustin will tell you that. Without him, there wouldn't be us.
All right. Yeah, and Dustin, I know we're veterans, but you're a patriot.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about your inspiration.
Yeah, so in our organization, as we built the organization, we noticed there was a lot of civilians that wanted to get involved and help because they had some sort of affinity through family, right? They have a brother, a sister, a father, mother, cousin. Pretty much everybody has a connection to the military somehow. And so there's a lot of people who want to give back. And so you said patriot, and I want to explain that real quick. It's as we were growing the organization, we realized we wanted to there needs to be a term around it. And the way we see it as a patriot is somebody who wants to give back, who sees a need, and they want to actually give of their time and their energy and their resources to help out with this cause. So we have a lot of patriots in our organization. Yes. that want to help out. But I go back to when Son, when he was inspired to do this idea, and we were talking. He has the perspective of a veteran going through the process of homeownership as well as the real estate practitioner. But I have a lot of experience in not only helping people find homes and real estate, but also the education aspect. And so we looked at that, and at the time, the market was in turmoil. And we realized that, as he said, there was no education happening. And it's actually important to say that there's 2 areas there was no education. Veterans weren't getting educated, but then the real estate practitioners were not getting educated. The amount of misnomers and misinformation out there about the VA loan and what it is and what it isn't was incredible. So we looked at that and went, okay, now we have a foundation here, a solid foundation of a 2-prong approach.
Yes, yeah. And so a super foundation, and you've done a lot of educating the industry. Yeah. But I see that you decided to, there is the VA Rep Cares, where the philanthropic arm where you're able to give back and actually touch the veterans, with giving them a hand up. Talk to us a little bit about the VA Rep Cares.
Absolutely, Larry. VA Rep Cares is our way for our chapters. So the way our organization works is that we have what we call VA Rep National, that's for corporate, and then our arms, our boots on the ground are our chapters, and they're led by real estate lending and housing professionals all across the United States. We are currently in 22 states at approximately 29 or 30 chapters, and we're growing 13 more. Those chapters are called VA Rep chapters.
Okay.
And so those chapters are led by volunteers within the industry. They have certain requirements they must do and follow. One of their biggest requirements, besides fundraising, education, the real estate community, is taking the fundraising money and doing a VA Rep Cares event. Okay. It's a coined term for the chapters, the volunteer chapters, to say not only once a year, but any time, right, that they see a need or they get a lot of referrals from the community about veterans.
Yes.
And their needs, whatever it may be, clothing, emergency needs, whatever they need, that chapter is enabled through their VA Rep Cares event to give back to the local community.
All right, super. And Dustin, just briefly, can you maybe share one of those VA Rep Cares stories that you have experienced lately?
Yeah. Let's see. The MVEG, we've given out, so we have several situations where a chapter is approached by a local veteran who's got a need, a critical need. for example. So, we've had several times, I think one in particular in Florida, where we had a veteran who needed their help with their rent. They couldn't make the rent. So, that request goes in, that request goes through a process of committee, and a decision is made to help out and get that veteran the payment and the help that they need.
Great, great. And Son, so I understand it now that you see more of a need for the philanthropic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you spoke in reference to Vet Cares.
Yes.
Is that a program? And so what I would like to do is take a short break.
Okay.
And then after the break, let's talk about the Vet Cares program.
Sounds great.
All right, great. All right. Super. We are about to take a short break, but before we go, I would like to remind you that First Home Alliance is a HUD-approved housing counseling agency serving the National Capital Area. If you are a first-time home buyer or a homeowner in need of mortgage assistance, please visit the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development website to find a HUD-approved agency in your area. We'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
With First Home Alliance, a little bit about First Home Alliance. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency that was established in 2002 by our executive director, Larry Law. He established the nonprofit. He established it because his mother purchased her first home at the age of 65. And everyone was like, how did you do that? Because her income was really low. And so that's how he found out about the USDA program. And so through the USDA program, his mother was able to purchase her first home. It intrigued him to see how he could help individuals basically experience the American dream of homeownership. So he established the nonprofit. Mission is to increase homeownership to low to moderate income families. And so what does First Home Alliance do?
Welcome back. You're watching Rock Your Block. I'm your host, Larry Laws of First Home Alliance. And if you're just now tuning in, we are joined today with VA Rep founder and co-founders Nguyen and Dustin Luce. Sung, right before the break, we were speaking about Vet Cares.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell me a little bit about Vet Cares.
Vet Cares is another 501c3 nonprofit. It's newly formed within the last year and a half, and it's a sister company to our USA Homeownership Foundation nonprofit. There was a need for us to separate, right, and have a sister company handle all of the philanthropic initiatives
Mm-hmm.
that we had. And so we now house 6 grant programs underneath Vet Cares. Now, the biggest difference between Vet Cares and VA Rep Cares that we discuss, VA Rep Cares still exists, but that's for the local volunteer chapter level.
Okay.
Whereas Vet Cares is a national separate company, sister company that is does all of our national initiatives. So that's the biggest difference. So under Vet Cares, one of our programs is called Stop, Drop, and Push.
Okay.
Stop, Drop, and Push, Larry, is a suicide prevention, right, and mental health advocate, right, for veterans to rediscover purpose in their life.
Okay.
And so we grant monies to veterans for gap funding, transportation, hotel, food, for veterans to go, and we'll do alternative therapy.
Okay.
Horse therapy, play
Mm-hmm.
therapy, diving, fly fishing.
Yes.
Studies have shown that that alternative therapy in combination with traditional treatment therapies make the healing of the veteran a holistic and much better, peer-to-peer. The second program is what we call the Military and Veteran Emergency Grant Program. And that program is where veterans, service members, and families are able to reach out to us for any emergency needs they may have.
Okay.
Clothing, baby essentials, rent payment, mortgage payment. The key to that program for us to qualify, everyone's welcome, right? But as we go through the vetting process, is sustainability. We want to make sure we give a hand up, not a hand out, to make sure that they are able, once we give this, what is their next steps in getting back on their feet. So that's our emergency grant program. The third program would be called the Callaway Closing Costs Program.
Okay.
The Robert Callaway is a former board member of ours that has passed, and so we named that program after him. That program allows us to grant low to moderate income service members and veterans the up to $2,000 per transaction to help them out with closing costs. Pretty plain and straightforward on that program.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And our fourth program is our Camp Cares grant program.
Right.
And so it's somewhat sprung from the idea of the Stop, Drop, and Push program for funding alternative therapy. But we decided there's through a partnership of our executive director for Vet Cares, has graciously donated some space to us for probably twice a year to have 6 to 10 veterans go up for a 3 to 5 day peer led, professionally also led as well, fly fishing, outdoor recreation, but with a purpose for healing and rediscovery. And so we grant that at give the monies for everything at no cost to the veterans. So we had our first annual last year, and we're looking forward to having another one this year.
Okay.
And so the other programs that we just instituted is a 2-part program. It's called our Trauma Thriver Grant Programs. And under that, we have under that program, we have 2 grants. The first being the MST, or Military Sexual Trauma grants. Okay. Those are given to people, service members, or veterans that have suffered military sexual trauma to get them and provide them the treatment they need, sometimes the medication, whatever they need, right? That will put them back and not only have them be survivors, but thrivers, right? Have them conquer. The second part of that program is our domestic violence grants.
Very important.
Very, very important. And stats have shown that domestic violence within the military and veteran communities is a lot higher than the average standard for civilians. So we decided to go ahead and put that program underneath the Thriver grants and provide the same type of support as we did for the military sexual trauma grants, to let them to be not only survive but thrive out of the domestic situation.
Yes, and so you're doing a lot of good there, and very important, that we're actually supporting our veteran community. But as an organization, it needs some sustainability.
Yes.
And so what is VA Rep doing, and what programs you have set aside to help sustain the mission?
Absolutely. And Dustin, if you want to go ahead, and you're well versed at that more than I am. For Vet Cares.
So we have 2 programs that we recently launched to help sustain the Vet Cares program. One is our car donation program, car and actually real estate. So, for somebody who has a vehicle or even a boat or an RV, as long as it has the motor in it, it doesn't have to run, we can receive those donations. There's a pathway for us to be able to raise money to be able to fund the programs through that, especially real estate. We're obviously very well versed in real estate, and I'll make a note on the VA Rep side, or the USA homeownership side. We've donated over 50 homes to date, and handled over 500 properties total for affordable housing. So those are programs that we know them well, we know how to operate them. So we're looking for donations in those. The other one is a thrift store. So we just launched our first thrift store in Las Vegas, Nevada, and so again we're accepting donations in there. And so those two programs, you have to have sustainability, right?
Correct.
There's obviously, you can receive funds, there can be donations, there can be grants, but on the same token, we also need to pave our own way in order to fund those programs. So.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Well, definitely, that is definitely need to help the organization thrive as you're helping our veterans. Yeah, I want to move into what brings you here to this area. We're here in the National Capital area, and so and this, it's just you didn't just fly in from California for no reason.
Well, Larry, we came here specifically to see you, so it's great
Well, I
seeing you.
appreciate it. Welcome.
You know, this year we are here for our annual policy conference, and every single year at grassroots level, we have our between 100 and 300 members fly in from all across the United States to advocate for veteran, economic, and housing issues. This year is a very special year.
Yes.
After 12 years of being in existence, we have finally have 2 bills that have been introduced, right?
Okay.
And they one bill covers and allows the veteran, when applying for a loan, to have their loan, VA loan, could be compared with a FHA and a conventional loan. This gives the power, right, to the veteran applying to make sure that the comparison is there to be included, so they can decide which product is the best for them. We're very proud of that. It's called the VALID Act.
Valid Act.
And the other one that got introduced is to give VA rep the congressional charter. So a bill to give us an official congressionally chartered to be able to then better serve and increase our footprint to serve the veterans' economic and housing needs across the United States.
Okay.
So with that, we will be in the veteran serving organizations like our bigger brothers and sisters, the VFW, AMVETS, and what have you. They are also congressionally chartered and doing wonderful things. And we that bill will allow us to do that. And that's why we're here.
Okay, well, super. Yeah, and you also have another annual event. You have a convention.
We do.
Yeah, we have our national convention. It's a leadership convention we do every single October, and we kind of rove around the country, or surrounding our chapters.
Yes.
San Diego, Orlando, Las Vegas, San Antonio. We've been a lot of places. So the focus on that is to bring in our leadership, our board members of the chapters around the country, and just bring them quality education, how to better serve, how to serve in the community, how to run their chapters more efficiently. But then we bring in guest speakers and we talk about leadership. We hear different stories of service members overcoming certain circumstances. So it's a good
Yes,
time.
and so so these chapters, and I'm quite sure you do outreach and recruiting, basically, for an industry. How can real estate professionals or professionals that would like to be interested in finding out more information, where can they find that information?
On our website, you go to varep.net. It's varep.net, and there's a button there that you can press to get more information, or the phone number there to call in. And you can apply to either start a chapter or become a board member on a chapter that's in existence.
Okay, and also if there's a veteran there that may need some of your assistance, how would they be able to get more information?
Yeah, there's a link in there they can click on. There's also our myhomeownership.com.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can go there, and again, there's information on the services we provide and forms to fill out.
And if they need help on the philanthropic side, they can visit vetcares.org. So we have 3, myhomeownership.com, vetcares.org, and varep.net.
Okay. All right. Well, San and Dustin, I want to thank you guys for coming on this evening, and looking forward to the policy conference this year.
Our pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
And maybe we can get you back in here next time you're in town.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I hope you enjoyed the interview with VA Rep founder and co-founder San Nguyen and Dustin Luce. I would like to now, if you would like more information, visit their website. As mentioned, that's varep.net. Now it's time for us to check our inbox to see how we can help rock your block. This is where we share recent questions sent to us by you, our viewing audience, about financial wellness and housing. Today's question comes from Woodbridge, Virginia. I'm a homeowner. Due to COVID, my income was reduced, and I'm behind on my mortgage. What should I do? That is a very good question. I'm glad you asked. As a homeowner, there in Virginia have a Virginia mortgage relief, where actually a homeowner, if eligible, you could receive up to $50,000 grant to bring you back whole. I highly encourage you to seek out a HUD-approved housing counseling agency in your area to help assist you navigating that portal and also having a successful package after receiving credit and budget counseling. I'm Larry Laws of First Home Alliance, and it's been my pleasure sharing with you our mission and highlighting people in our community that are making an impact. If you have questions about financial wellness or how we can help make your dream of homeownership a success, email your question to our inbox at help@firsthomealliance.org. Then tune into our next show to see if your question was selected to be shared with our audience. You can easily get more information about it visiting us on the web. Thank you for watching today's show at First Home Alliance, and join us next time to rock your block.
Glad to know that, some of this stuff about credit and buying houses is written down somewhere. A lot of the times it's always hearsay, like other friends or family members who have bought houses before, but they can never, tell you legit what you need to get done and do before buying a house.
I definitely think this class should be required for all first home buyers because a lot of times the real estate agent doesn't explain the process to you. So I think this is very important.
It's from the credit up to receiving a loan, and the most important thing is the process that you go through when you're buying the house, and there are a lot of process which you don't have idea about that before you take this class.
Speakers who came up and spoke about each section, they were very knowledgeable in their field, and I felt like it was relatable. They didn't just throw out a whole bunch of terms that went over my head, but they really explained it in a way to where I understood it, and I could even explain it to my children, and it was even easier for me to take home and kind of remember and process and apply to my next steps. The process was amazing.
They start first with the class before even finding a lender or agent. Because I did all that and I wasn't able to purchase, and then I was like, oh, you know what, there's a lot of information I'm not aware of. Let me just start from the beginning, to put everything on hold. Start from
piecing the information together, because you've heard things about the loans and about this and about the credit, but this is like a summary, and it just gives a clear flow of where to go with what you have and kind of building up a plan. So that kind of gives me a whole picture of where I needed to go and how to get there.